Hey, this is Reid's Reviews. Today let's look at this RC3 loop station by Boss. It's a pretty small looper, but it has a fair amount of features for its size. I'll go over those features. I'll also give you a demo and give you my final thoughts afterwards. Let's look at this knob first. This is actually 2-in-1. There's an outer dial and an inner dial. The outer dial changes the playback of the loop that you've recorded. The inner dial is the volume of the rhythm that's playing in the background. And I'll talk a little bit about how we can bring that rhythm in a second. But let's go over these other items here. We've got the record and play lights, red and green, record, playback. If they're both playing together, that means that you're overdubbing on top of a previously recorded loop. Here we have the display. It goes up to 99 memory slots. Boss calls these phrases, so that can go up to 99 phrases that you can save. You save them by pressing this button here. Let's go ahead and record something quickly. If I record something and I don't want it to play back immediately when I push the foot switch again, I have to push 3 times. So I've recorded, but I haven't saved what I just played. You notice that there's a 1 and there's no dot afterwards. If there's a dot after the 1, that means that there is actually something saved on this memory slot. So let's go ahead and save that by pushing this, push it again, boom. Now, what's important to realize is that if I don't save it by pressing the right button 2 times, then if I were to move off onto a different memory slot from like 1 to 2, then I would lose whatever I had recorded and not saved. All right, now if I want to delete, I can do that by holding this down for 2 seconds. You'll see it changes to DL, and then I confirm by clicking it again. Now that little dot is gone, and that means this is a fresh slot, and I can record whatever I want on it now. Now there are 3 recording modes with this pedal. I'm going to go show you how to set those up and tell you what they are. You set them by pushing the tap tempo button down for a couple seconds. Okay, NO stands for normal. This is just recording immediately when you press the foot switch. AU is auto record, and this will, when you push the foot switch, it basically arms the pedal. So it won't start recording until it hears a signal from your guitar, and then at that point it will start playing or start recording. CT stands for count in. This will play the beat at the tempo for a measure, and then it will start recording on the second measure. I personally like auto, so I'll leave it on that for now. So this pedal has 10 different drum styles that you can select from, and you can control the tempo of those by tapping this button here. So if I want to start off with a certain tempo for this memory slot, I'll click this certain rate, and you'll note that immediately there's a drum style that comes in. It's basic, and that's keeping the simple rhythm. If I want to speed it up, of course I'll click that, and if I wanted to slow it down, I'll do the same thing. If I want it to stop altogether, boom. If I want it to start back up, it will do that by clicking that on. Now here is something that's kind of cool. You can change the sound of the rhythm style by holding the rhythm on/off button down, and you'll see R0, and it goes up to 9, so there's 10 different rhythm styles. So pretty basic, but nonetheless they're there. I'm going to turn the rhythm sound down a little bit. Maybe I'll slow it down too. Okay, cool. I'm going to turn it off actually. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to start. I armed it, so now it should record and it should play the rhythm style as soon as I start playing. So you can hear right there. Now if I wanted to start recording and I didn't want the drums to come in, then I would just turn it off and push down the foot switch and it would start recording, but I wouldn't have any drums in the background. All right, so I am going to show you how to also set up the time signature. Now, in order to set up the time signature, it needs to be a fresh slot, memory slot. So I'm going to go ahead and delete this, what I put in there, holding that down. Now clicking again, boom, now it's deleted. If I want to change the time signature, I press this, hold it down. It goes into the style selection. And then if I hold it down again for a couple seconds, then it will go into the time signature setting. There's only 2 time signatures this can be set to, either B3 or B4. And B3 is 3/4, and this is 4/4. That 4/4 is the default time signature for this pedal. I'm just going to go ahead and leave it on the 4/4. But you have to set that up ahead of time before you've recorded anything on a track. All right, so now let me go into kind of a little nuance about this pedal, but it's really important to know in order to not get frustrated with it, because you're going to be kind of pounding your foot on the pedal trying to do what you want. You think it's going to be a playing back, but it's stopping. You think it's going to be overdubbing, it's going to be playing back, etc. So let me show you how you get it to work like you want it. And there's 2 different settings that you can do. The way that you set them is you pull the output cable out, and that turns the pedal off. I push down tap tempo, and then I put the cable back in, and then you'll see RP come up. That's telling me right now that it's set for recording with the first press. The second press will be a playback, and then the third press will be an overdub. If I were to press it again, it would do playback. If I were to press it again, it would do overdub. And then if I wanted to get out of it completely, I actually have to press twice. The other option is for it to record and then go into overdub immediately after. And then if you were to push it again, it would go into playback. Personally, I like the record, playback, and then overdub because I'm not always ready to jump in to do an overdub after I've recorded kind of the first layer. So I'm going to go ahead and put it back to RP, so it goes record, playback, and then overdub. Let me show you how that works. So first push is record. Second push will be playback. Now if I go ahead and push it again, it will go into overdub. Both of these lights will turn on. If I push it again, it goes back into playback. Now, if I want it to stop, I push it twice. All right. It can get really frustrating if you don't understand what's going to happen next when you push the foot switch. Now, something else I want to go over is showing you how to save a track so that it will be in one-shot mode. One-shot mode means that when you push down the pedal and there's a loop stored in that memory slot, it will only play at one time and then it will stop. It won't continuously loop. So in order to do that, first let me record something again. When I'm saving it, I'll hit the tap tempo button, hold that down, and then I'll push the right button, and you'll see that it's stored in there. You can see it blinking on and off. Now, if I go to another memory slot and then I go back, you'll see that it blinks on and off. It lets you know that, hey, when you hit the playback button, it's only going to do one time, then it's going to stop. Let's move and let's put something into another track. In order to do that again, I'll click this down, it arms it, and I'll start playing something here. Okay, something simple. I'm going to go ahead and save this. I'm not going to put it in one-shot mode, but I'm going to go back here. We see this is in one-shot mode. That is not in one-shot mode. There's not a OS on. Now here's the neat thing about this pedal, and it lets you lay down multiple loops, loop phrases, so that you can maybe create a song. You can go from an intro to the main part of a song and then to a chorus. And you do that by, let's go ahead and click this. This will be the one shot. But what I need to do is after I click this, in order to get it to go into the memory slot 2, right after memory slot 1 is played one time because of the one shot, then I need to push this button. So let's go ahead and push this once. Okay. Now I'm going to go ahead and stop this. And I can again go to another one and I can put something else down on this and say, and now I'm going to write this. And let's say, okay, I saved it, but I didn't save it as a one-shot playback mode. So in order to do that, I just need to save it again by this time pushing the tempo first and then write. Cool. Okay, so if I go down to 2, up to 3, you'll see the blinking back and forth. 2 is not set in one-shot mode. It's in the continuous loop mode. 1 is in one-shot mode. So now if I want to cycle through those 3 loop phrases, I can go ahead and do that. Push this. And now I have to hit up before loop 1 ends in order for it to transition to 2. Now this is in a continual loop. So I can just sit here and it will continue going, go, and go, and go. Now if I want it to move to the 3rd loop phrase, I'll go ahead and push this again. And again, this is a one shot. And it should stop. Okay. Now when you're playing with this pedal, of course, if you have it on a table, it's easy to switch, or it's easy to click on these up and down. It's called memory shifting. But at the same time, you know, if you're obviously playing live or you've got this pedal on the floor, you're not going to be able to do that. So you can use an optional foot switch in the side here and use that to kind of go up and down these loop phrases so that it will transition automatically to them. Now, I can go ahead and clear out what I've recorded so far. I haven't saved it. One easy way is just to bump up to another memory slot and then back down, and that wipes it out. Another thing that you can do is when you can push playback, and then if I want to do it again and just hold it, you'll see it undoes it. Now I can record something fresh on it. Okay, so I've turned it off. If I want to play it back, I press it once. If I want to overdub on top of that, I'll press it again. Now, if I didn't like what I did for the overdub, I can get rid of that while it's playing back by pushing this and holding, and you'll see it say UN. That means undo. So it got rid of what I overdubbed. But hey, if I want to bring the last thing that I did that was an overdub, I've only done one with this. If I want to bring it back, I just push this and then it brings it back. Now, if I've done several overdubs, it's not going to be able to bring back ones that weren't the latest. It will just do the latest overdub that I had removed or cleared. In general, I like this pedal. It's small. It fits on a pedal board quite nicely. It has enough features that I can, play along with some drums. I can also overdub, and then I can also switch between memory stores or phrase loops. Because it's so small, sometimes, when I'm trying to stop it or, I want to hit it to do an overdub, it can jostle the pedal around a little bit. So you're going to want to go ahead and kind of secure it with, something that's solid. So you don't push the pedal around. With bigger loopers, it seems like they just stick in place a little bit better. It's a minor thing. Another thing is I wish there were more drum styles to choose from. 10 really isn't enough for what I want. And the other, kind of the biggest thing that's frustrating is the saves. If I move to another memory slot and I don't save beforehand, then I lose it. Poof, I lost what I had recorded but not saved. So that is a little frustrating. Again, in general though, I think it's a pretty sweet pedal. It fits a niche, small yet fairly powerful for its size. If you're really, really hardcore into looping and you're going to be doing stuff live, then I would get, a bigger looper. I have another review for the RC300, which is a pretty substantial looper. It has 3 different tracks that you can record simultaneously. You can play back different tracks simultaneously, and it's pretty neat. It also has some effects built into it. If you're just using this at home and you just want to have something that you can kind of cycle through some phrases that you've recorded, just experiment with, this is great. It's small, it doesn't hog up your board, and it will make it so that when you need it, it's there. Hey, if you love guitars and you're into effects, go ahead and subscribe to my channel. I'm constantly reviewing new and old pedals, and when I do, you'll be the first to know. Thanks for watching, and we'll talk to you later. Bye.